Hello everyone, I know it's been a long time since my last video, but we are going to rectify that today with a new deck profile for GOAT format. We are going to be discussing the recipe for call this one Dark Elf deck Devastation Virus. Of course, revolving around Dark Elf and the titular card here. So I'm going to go over the deck profile and then we'll take a look at some replays, show off the real life deck I got too, and we'll go from there. So let's get right into it. So our monster lineup, the first one we got, of course, we're playing BLS. We have plenty of darks here to fuel our plays for that. We've got 4 lights running, so that should give us ample material for BLS, as well as our Chaos Sorcerer here. Jinzo, just because, honestly, I've always liked playing Jinzo main deck. Very good card to stop the traps. I know a lot of decks don't play it, some decks side deck it. I think you should just main deck it every time. There's literally no reason not to, unless you play like 20 trap cards. Next, of course, we got 2 Zombyra, great beater here with 2100 attack. This can also activate deck Devastation Virus, which is why we're also running the 3 Dark Elf. 2000 attack beater and its dark attribute. Its only downfall, really, and same with Zombyra, is that it loses to Tsukiyomi. So just be wary of that one. The 1 Abyss Soldier, just a great all-around card to have. Tribe Infecting Virus. Breaker the Magical Warrior for back row removal. DD Warrior Lady. Triple Shining Angel as our recruiter and for fuel for the Chaos Monsters. Exiled Force, just a staple there. Sangan for the search. Cyberjar, which is honestly probably one of the best cards in this deck because most people tend not to think it's going to come up. Also, after game 1, if you don't even utilize it, they'll side out their Nobleman, and that's obviously good for you because they'll just attack right into it. And of course, the 1 Sinister Serpent, that's going to be fueling our Abyss Soldier here in Tribe Infecting Virus. Move on to the spells, we got the Heavy Storm, 2 creature swap to go with our Shining Angel, Giant Trunade, 1 Delinquent Duo, 1 Pot, 1 Charity, 2 Smashing Ground, 2 Nobleman, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Snatch Steel, 1 Burial, 1 Deck Devastation Virus, which is a card that is criminally underrated in GOAT format. Of course, this one is Tribute 1 Dark Monster with 2000 or more attack. Look at your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and all cards they draw until the 3rd end of their turn. Destroy all those monsters with 1500 or less attack. And the crazy thing about this card, especially against a meta deck like Chaos Turbo, is that it just destroys that deck, like, completely. If you manage to resolve this playing against them, like, you just won. Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, Ring of Destruction, Call the Haunted, all staples there, and rounding it out with 2 Solemn Judgment. Extra deck does not get utilized, so just put whatever you want in there. For the side deck, we have the 2 Spell Canceller, 2 Mystic Swordsman, 2 Mind Control, Lightning Vortex, Card Destruction, 2 Mystic Walk for that burn matchup, 2 Dust Tornado for back row heavy decks you're playing against, 2 Widespread Ruin for the warrior matchups, and of course just the 3rd Solemn Judgment if you need that extra boost. And that's the deck profile there, so let's go ahead and get into the replays. Alright, so let's go ahead and load up our first replay today. I think I'm going to show off 3 of these. Start out with this one here. And I think we're going against Chaos, if I remember. Start off firing the Delinquent Duo, get rid of Heavy Storm in the upstart, and sent the Torrential there. They're going to set a Gravekeeper Spy. We're going to go ahead and bust out the Nobleman to get rid of that. That's going to send 3 to Banishment. Normal summon the Shining Angel and attack in for 1400. They're going to go ahead, play the Tsukiyomi. We're going to Torrential Tribute that to get rid of both, since we're going to lose the Shining Angel anyway. Go ahead and normal summon the Dark Elf here, pay the 1000 to attack in for 2000, that's going to set him down to 4600. We're going to go ahead, set the Raigeki break. We'll just move to battle phase and attack in here. They're going to fire off the Raigeki break. We'll summon Zombyra in main phase 2 and just sit on that. They're going to set the Dakochi. Got BLS, we're going to go ahead and banish the Dakochi. End phase there, just sit on that. They're going to set another one and Snatch Steal the BLS. That puts us in a bad position. They're going to attack in twice here for heavy damage. We're down to 1100. And we've got our water type to fuel our Abyss Soldier play, so we're going to go ahead and bounce the BLS back to our hand here. Attack into the face down. They're going to draw a card off that flip effect. No big deal there. They're going to set up the breaker. Go ahead and get that spell counter. That's going to get them over Abyss Soldier. No big deal. We have some good plans here with Zymbira the Dark. That's going to go ahead and beat over the breaker. Pass to their turn. They're going to fire off the Graceful Charity here. We're going to set 2, the Ring of Destruction and the Magician of Faith. We're going to go ahead and attack the Magician of Faith. They're going to use that to get the Snatch Steal back. We'll go ahead and set the Cyber Jar down. They're going to summon the Chaos Sorcerer to banish Zymbira and set a Jar of Greed. Go ahead and get the Cyber Jar here. That's going to really open up the field for us. So off the Cyber Jar, we're going to get the 3 summons here. 3 really good monsters. They kind of whiff a little there. They just have the Magician of Faith. So we're going to go ahead and Heavy Storm. They're going to chain both of those and get rid of our Shining Angel. We are down to 600 life points. Exiled Force, the Magician of Faith, and use our BLS to attack in for game here. And that is it for that one. Huge play from that Abyss Soldier. That helps out a lot. And let's go ahead and load up this next one here. Actually, I changed my mind. We have a better one. Let's go with this one. Yep, against Earth Beat. Go ahead and summon the Sandgan here. Giant Rat in attack position. Go ahead and use Exiled Force on the Giant Rat. Attacking with Sandgan for 1,000. And we're going to set the MST. They're going to set 1. We're going to hit the Wabaku in main phase 2 there. Go ahead and attack in with Sandgan for 1,000. And then we'll set the Torrential. They're going to set the Threatening Roar. We're going to go ahead and attack in with 1,000. And we're just going to keep sitting on this because we have the Torrential to blow up anything they might have. Drawn to the Graceful there. Actually, we're going to Creature Swap here. Okay. And Breaker the back row. That's going to get us rid of that. They're going to activate the Threatening Roar, so that kind of stops us there, but that's no big deal. They're going to go ahead and set the Nimble Mamanga and the Spell Shield Type 8. We'll tack into our Sandgan here. That's going to get us the Float with the Sinister Serpent. Go ahead, fire off Graceful Charity. We pitched a couple there, Sinister and Dark Elf. They're going to MST the Torrential Tribute. Summon Gigantes off that. They're going to attack in to crash the Nimble Mamanga. They're going to get 1,000 life points and summon another one there. Gigantes is going to go ahead and attack in. Here for the follow-up, we're going to Nobleman. They're going to block that one out, so we can't get rid of Nimble. Go ahead, fire off the Premature Burial. That'll get rid of the face down here, so they can't get the life point boost. And we'll attack over Gigantes. He cannot get his effect off because there's no back row. We'll go ahead and set DDV. We're going to fire that one off. That's going to show us their hand. They have no monsters to speak of. Now we know this is called the Haunted, so we're going to go ahead and just attack it anyway. That's going to get Gigantes back out here. Main phase 2 will just sit on our Shining Angel. They're going to have to pitch the Exiled Force because of Deck Devastation Virus. Get the float here off into another Shining Angel, and they will set the Curse of Anubis down there. Go ahead and set DD Warrior Lady, just going for the safe play so far. Get the Banishment and Gigantes there. We're sitting on the Shining Angel. Go ahead and attack in with Shining Angel for 1,400 and fire off the Delinquent Duo main phase 2. All I have left is a Brain Control and a Giant Rat, so they're going to set up the Giant Rat here. Both going to get a float. We'll go into another Shining Angel. They go into another Rat. And we're going to go through this song and dance a couple times here. Getting out the injection, that's going to go in for a whopping 3,400, so we are looking pretty bad right now.
Say on.
Yeah, what the?
But of course, we're going to go for the Hail Mary, set the Cyber Jar. That's going to let us flip it here, though. Easily feed us into a big play here. Get the Zymbira off the Dark Summon. They're going to go ahead and get, let's see, Gear Golem, the Moving Fortress in attack position. We're going to go ahead and steal that. They're going to Spell Shield that. Get the Abyss Soldier. We'll send that one back to hand there, and we'll attack in. They're going to hit the Curse of Anubis. Set 3 traps. We have a Solemn Judgment to protect our back row here, and their Heavy Storm is gone, so we don't have too much to worry about. Go ahead and hit the Snatch Steel and the Brain Control there. Ancient Gear Golem is going to get hit with Solemn Judgment. We are down to 500 life points. Call the Haunted to get Abyss Soldier back on the field. That'll get us our Sinister Serpent, which means we can bounce the Wabaku back. They're going to chain that. And we will go ahead and set 2 more here. Gear Golem's going to go ahead and try to attack directly, but we have the Mirror Force. That's going to save the day for us. They're going to set another Wabaku to be annoying. But of course, we have a Jinzo here, so that can just end the game for us right on the spot. And that'll be it. And I think we got one more. Let's see. Let's try this one out. I believe we have a solid DDV play on here. Go ahead, summon the Sangan, and set the Torrential. They're going to fire off the Pot of Greed and the Reinforcement of the Army. Going to crash the Sangan. That's going to get us both a search off of that. We will grab the Sinister Serpent. And they will set a Gravity Bind. We've got the Dark Elf and the DDV. We're going to set those and sit on them. Activate the DDV. That's going to send every monster in their hand to the graveyard. Absolutely devastating play on our part. Obviously, that won us the game right there. Attacking with the Shining Angel. Gravity Bind is going to stop us. That's not a huge deal. They have honestly nothing to do at this point. We're going to go ahead and set another Shining Angel. That's going to get us a little bit of defense here. Go ahead and hit the Premature. That'll get Sangan back on the field, who can attack under Gravity Bind here. That'll poke for 1,000. You're going to go ahead and activate the Reinforcement finally. They're going to grab their Exiled Force to get rid of, let's see here, the face down Shining Angel. Mataza is going to get a benefit from plenty of equip cards here. Torrential has not been activated yet, but we have a few plays left. They're going to hit the Sangan. Going down on damage, that's going to grab us the Exiled Force. So we'll go ahead and, of course, fire that off. They're going to Solemn Judgment that, so we'll get the Chaos Sorcerer out to banish that, and we'll attack. Oh, no attack. Gravity Bind still in the field. Draw into the Smashing Ground, Summon Breaker, and that's going to hit the Gravity Bind for game. So I think that one really shows off the power of DDV against certain decks, especially Mataza the Zapper, because they play Gravity Bind and level 3s to play under that. Obviously, a lot of those cards sit under 1500 attack, so if you resolve DDV, it's going to be game over. Anyway, that's all I have for this deck today, so join me in the next one. We'll be going over some more GOAT format decks. I think I'm going to tackle Warrior and do a starting guide for that one next. Anyway, stay tuned.